I think the test of how today's event went is the energy in the room. If you kind of if I think about that last moment as we closed today, there was a great amount of energy, lots of ideas, people were carrying on the conversation. And I think also it's about the panel wasn't just the people on the table, it actually extended into the room as people were exchanging ideas, helping to answer questions from the floor as well. And that's really positive because it shows that the industry wants to collaborate, the industry wants to share information and ideas, and it's about that way of actually sharing information to drive change, which I think was a real takeaway from today. I think there were so many takeaways, but if I kind of think about the ones that are still in my mind, it was about collaboration. How do we work in the industry to collaborate? How do we share that information? How do we actually take the knowledge from that last project and make sure that's the starting point for the next project? How do we make sure that we're really understanding the challenges the client are facing? How do we make sure we're challenging the client? Do they really know what they want to achieve? How do we make sure that that start of the project we get right? Because actually if we don't get the right structure, the right information, the right requests for information, actually we lose out. So getting that starting point at the start really important, I think. But how do we ensure that as we look at the different systems, that they actually share information across those different platforms, and actually that information doesn't become degraded or lost as we actually share that information, because turning that data into knowledge is the heart of what we need to do here. So if I just look back just a few years, I suppose, and I see how we're learning from our existing projects and how we need to accelerate that and how this is a process of continuous learning. So how do we take our experience from our last project and transfer it to the next project? How do we make sure that we're always learning, always improving? And I think that becomes the rhythm, doesn't it? That becomes the way we need to think, that every project is an experience that we need to build from. And I can hear that and I can see that in all the conversations we've had today, which is about, I've learned this and I want to share that and I want to grow and I want to make sure the next project or the next sub-project I learn from that and improve. So I think it's a real thing about pace. I think the industry is moving now quicker around data and knowledge. How do we make sure we continue to learn to actually quicken that pace and make the best use of the data? So I think Amodal is a good example of an organisation that's listening, understanding what the pain points of the industry are, listening and understanding that, and then adapting its solutions to make sure that it's driving change. And so, we closed today listening to Amodal talk about their products and how they're evolving. And I think organizations need to make sure they are truly understanding the client pain points, evolving their solutions to actually deliver better and better solutions, but in a way that are integrated so that data can be shared, that knowledge can be more compelling. So when you get to the C-suite and the boardroom, that data actually really tells the story of improvement and what needs to change.